The next section, section 21, is possibly one of the more important sections in the code, and incidentally, it's very interesting. There's this Bankruptcy Laws Reforms Committee report, which has a set of opening lines. It's not the exact lines, but I'll tell you what it says. It says, a limited liability company is a contract between equity and debt. Where the debt obligations are met, the equity holders continue to run the company. But when a default occurs, the management is transferred to the creditors and equity owners have no say. So this management transferring to the creditor is actually this committee of creditors who start running the company through the RP. That's why section 21, you have committee of creditors. So let's go into 21, committee of creditors. When shall the committee of creditors be appointed? It shall be appointed after the collation of claims, after the public notice. Who shall constitute the committee of creditors? The interim resolution professional shall constitute the committee of creditors. Who shall be in the committee of creditors? Only financial creditors can be in the committee of creditors. Can a related party to whom a corporate debtor owes a financial debt be there in the committee of creditors? No. A related party who is a financial creditor cannot be in the committee of creditors, shall not have the right to participate, represent or vote in the committee of creditors. What happens where the corporate debtor owes financial debts to two or more financial creditors in a consortium? Each of the members of that consortium will form part of the committee of creditors with their voting share in proportion to their debt levels. What happens when the same person is both a financial creditor and an operational creditor? I am a financial creditor for 10 crores, operational creditor for 10 crores. Then I can be in the committee of creditors only to the extent of 10 crores. What happens when an operational creditor assigns a debt to a financial creditor? So A is an operational creditor, but he sells off his debt to a financial creditor. So financial creditor had 10 crores. He's now got an assigned operational debt for 5 crores. Will that financial creditor be a financial creditor or an operational creditor? He will be a financial creditor only with committee representation for the 10 crores. And to the extent of operational debt assigned, he will be an operational creditor. Which means the nature of the party does not matter in the constitution. It's the nature of the debt held by the party which determines whether he is an OC or an FC. Now, we said related parties can't be there in the committee of creditors. Correct? What happens when all the financial creditors are related? Will you go without a COC? No. There's a rule which is specified in the regulation, which we will study again when we are studying the regulation. There's an 18-1-1 rule. 18 of the largest operational creditors by value plus one representative of workmen not in the above 18 and one representative of employees not in the above 18 will be constituted. If the number of creditors is less than 18, then all such creditors will come into the committee of creditors. Now, there could be circumstances where the terms of a financial debt extended as part of a consortium arrangement or a syndicated facility will provide for a single trustee to act for all the financial creditors. In which case, what are the options? A financial creditor can authorize the trustee or agent to act on his behalf also to the extent of his voting share. 2. The individual financial creditor can come on his own. 3. He can appoint a resolution professional to represent him. 4. He can also exercise his right to vote singly or jointly with one or more financial creditors jointly or severally. All this is may. Okay. Then, how is the voting share determined? Who determines the voting share? RP determines the voting share. Now, can RP randomly determine the voting share? No. It's based on the manner specified by the board. But it's fairly fundamental. It's a proportionate voting share. What is the decision? What is majority in the Committee of Creditors? One another good thing about this act is any place where they ask you about majority, other than certain regulations where it is 50% for the board and things like that, here it is all, COC is always 75% majority. Right? Then, the COC shall have the right to require the resolution professional. What are the rights of a COC? Now, can COC ask the RP for any information? Yes, they can. At any time during the CIR process. Is the RP bound to furnish such information? Yes, he is. Within what period? 7 days. Okay. With this, we conclude one of the most important sections, which is the section on COC. Next, we come to the appointment of a resolution professional. Now, we learnt earlier that the IRP's tenure is only 30 days. Correct? Correct? So, what has to happen is the RP has to get appointed. So, the first meeting of the Committee of Creditors shall be held within 7 days of constitution of the committee. There is a small disconnect here because the Act says 7 days within the constitution of Committee of Creditors, whereas the regulation says 7 days within filing of a report constituting the Committee of Creditors with the adjudicating authority. But in any case, the Act will prevail. So, it's within 7 days of constitution of the Committee of Creditors. The Committee of Creditors may in its first meeting by a majority vote of not less than 75% resolve to appoint the IRP as the RP or to replace the IRP with a new RP. Where the committee resolves to continue with the IRP, it shall communicate the decision to the IRP, the corporate debtor and NCLT. This is very important. They have to go back and tell everybody, IRP, you're there. NCLT, this is my IRP continuing as an RP. Corporate debtor, this is my IRP continuing as an RP. If they decide to replace, it shall file an application to the adjudicating authority for the replacement. And the board, okay, within 10 days shall confirm the name of the person so proposed. Always it is 10 days for board to communicate whether an RP is okay. Where they have not received any intimation from the board, okay, the existing IRP will continue as an RP until the new RP is appointed. That's because just like your bankruptcy trustee replacement and all that, which we will learn later, this position cannot be left unguarded. 23. Resolution professional to conduct CIR process. So before that, in 3A, please mark emphasis. Who all will they tell that he is continuing? 22 subsection 1, please mark. Subsection 5, 10 days. Subject to section 27, the RP shall conduct the entire CIRP process and manage the operations. And whatever powers were there with the IRP, it will be there with the RP also. And in case an RP is substituting an old IRP who is no longer being continued, he shall obviously have to hand over all the information, records which were in possession of the corporate debtor to the new RP who is appointed. With this, we'll stop here. In the next section, we'll go to the meeting of the Committee of Creditors. So we have finished up to section 23 here.